Well, you can no longer rely on the Trump administration's federal agencies for the truth. They've just become the Pravda organ of Donald Trump. And our latest example is the Social Security Administration. Commissioner Frank Bisinano, whoever that is, sent out an email, perhaps prematurely, but it was never corrected, telling the people who receive Social Security, great news, the new big, beautiful bill, that depraved, demented budget that was passed by Donald Trump, that it contains a provision that will not tax Social Security benefits. There's only one problem with that. That provision didn't survive the reconciliation process between the Senate bill and the House bill. It was removed. It was replaced with a temporary tax credit of $6,000 given to seniors for about a 3-year or 2.5-year period. And yet the email went out, lying to at least in this country, you want to be able to trust what the IRS tells you about how to fill out one of their forms, or the Social Security Administration. But to have this partisan hack lie to the American people in order to bolster the Trump administration is unconscionable. I'm going to follow it right here. You're on Legal AF. I'm traveling, but I'm Michael Popok. Let's get down to the latest set of lies. The Pravda machine working overtime in the Trump administration. What happened? Well, either nobody gave Frank Bisinano the memo, or he didn't take the time to read the 1,000 pages of the bill now passed, or he didn't follow the comings and goings of the House parliamentarian who struck a number of the provisions. But in any event, he sent out an email to all of Social Security, an email that Frank Pallone, a congressperson from New Jersey, he declared every bit of it is a lie. And he sits on the House subcommittee related to Social Security. Let me read to you, as long as you're here. As long as you're here, hit the subscribe button, by the way. It does help us continue to bring this content to you. The memo, let me just read to you what it says. He says in the memo that the Commissioner Bisinano sent out, he said that the bill should be congratulated because it eliminates federal income tax on Social Security benefits for most beneficiaries, providing relief to individuals and couples. Bravo. Bravo, Trump administration, except that's a lie. He also continues it. This is a historic step forward for American seniors by significantly reducing the tax burden on benefits. This legislation reaffirms President Trump's promise to protect Social Security. All right, he just cut $1 trillion of Medicare and Medicaid. He's about to put 11 million people on the uninsured rolls. So for him to be bragging about protecting Social Security because he gave them he gave people who are seniors a $6,000 tax credit for the next 2.5 years. Frank Bisinano did not tell the truth and lied to the American people. And since the story came out in the last 24 hours, Social Security Administration hasn't done a thing to fix it. When I first read this story, to be frank, I thought I was reading a follow-up to the story that just happened a couple days ago, where a Canadian business person, fraudster, was finally picked up for preying on grandmas and grandpas by trying to convince them that their grandchildren have been taken hostage or hijacked, and they had to pay ransom immediately. The guy made hundreds of millions of dollars this way. I'm thinking, is this the same scam? Social Security lying to seniors, some of the most vulnerable people financially, sometimes emotionally in our society? Is that right? It isn't. Elections, of course, have consequences. The people that held their nose and voted for Donald Trump or voted for him enthusiastically, you now have to live with the results. These are the policy decisions. These are the leadership. This is the Pravda that you voted for, if you voted for him, or if you didn't vote against him. There are people that stayed home here that are not going to have that luxury at the midterms. There's no more. We don't have the luxury of being the silent majority. We only have the luxury of running outside, opening the window behind us and putting our head out and screaming at the top of our lungs, we're mad as hell. We're not going to take it any longer. Yes, that's from Network, the movie. Look it up. But it is. Let me just read to you from Frank Pallone, a congressperson I know well, represented my home district. Frank Pallone said in his posting that every word is a lie. Every word in what the commissioner of Social Security has said is a lie. Here's what Representative Frank Pallone wrote. This email went to every Social Security subscriber, and every word of it is a lie. Social Security benefits are still taxed. This big, ugly bill doesn't change that. It's disturbing to see Trump hijacked a public institution to push blatant misinformation. Jeff Nesbitt, who used to be in the Social Security Administration and worked bipartisanly for Republicans and Democrats, he said the following in his posting. He said, the agency has never issued such a blatant political statement. The fact that Trump and his minion running Social Security Administration has done this is unconscionable. What's the difference between the guy in Canada trying to steal grandma's nest egg because she believes in good faith that her grandchild has been kidnapped, and the Trump administration preying on the vulnerabilities of seniors? Seniors, listen to me. Those on Medicare and Medicaid, listen to me. You've been screwed by the Trump administration, and you weren't even there to enjoy it. You weren't even given dinner and a cigarette. Okay? You were just screwed. 11 million people are going to lose their insurance. Period. That's what every independent study says based on the bill that was just passed. This is not hyperbole. I'm not slaying mythical dragons. This is the truth. When you take, what do you think is going to happen, especially in red states, to $1 trillion with a T dollars being sucked out of Medicare and Medicaid and food stamps and children's and programs meant to help alleviate childhood poverty? Not good things. Not good things. And so when you can't trust, I mean, when I'm filling out a form for the Internal Revenue Service, I at least trust that they got it right. They're not telling me some lie. They're not blowing smoke or sunshine up my backside. And that's exactly what Frank Bissinano just said. This is not the place for the Social Security Administration, which is supposed to be bipartisan, to go after seniors in this way at all. But does it shock you? We have a president who over 4th of July said he hated more than half the country. Let me repeat that. Donald Trump said he hated more than half of the country. He said, they hate me and I hate them too. To cheers from his sparsely attended July 4th, whatever it was. We have a guy who's the president of the United States who told people when he ran, which was a lie, and told people after he got elected, which was a lie, that he was going to work to bring this country together, that he doesn't see red or blue, that he only sees the United States of America. Is that what we're watching? Is that actually what we're watching with this administration? The weaponization of the Department of Justice? The complete emasculation or the ripping out of the heart of major institutions in our government that are there to protect federal workers and women's rights and children and victims of crimes. That's what you're watching. That's what you're watching. So it's not esoteric. It's not academic. It's real world pain and retaliation and retribution and by Donald Trump. And so nothing is safe. You should be skeptical about every piece of paper or mailing you get from this Trump administration and read it with a grain of salt and a jaundiced eye. That's all I can tell you. So, and I'll also come back and report to you if Frank Bissinano sends out an update saying that he was wrong, that the Social Security is being taxed as a benefit, just that there's a $6,000 credit for a couple of years. And he's probably in hot water. I mean, the Democrats are not in power, but they are in resistance. And I assure you that Frank Bissinano will be brought before a panel that's led by somebody, at least in the minority side, by Frank Pallone from New Jersey, and he'll be grilled on this email and why he turned himself, or has always been, a political hack in furtherance of the cause for Donald Trump's cult instead of protecting seniors. We'll follow that. We'll protect seniors here on Legal AF. I'm glad you're here. Hit the free subscribe button. Till my next report, I am on the road, but I am recording. Till my next report, I'm Michael Popak. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.